We had a pretty good storm today. We had a bunch of branches come down in the yard that had a bunch of moss. Well, it looks like moss. It's actually called lichen, which is a combination of a fungus and algae that live symbiosisly together. You can do your own research on that. So what I heard is a lot of tardigrades reside in this lichen. So what I'm doing here is putting some water in a bag with some of the lichen and just lightly shake it around and try to loosen up any of the critters that might be hiding inside there. So I cut a little hole in the very tip of the bag and just squeeze the water out like you would frosting for a cake. And we're gonna concentrate this water by putting it in the centrifuge. And what we'll do next here is, after we figured out how much water we have inside this container, grab another container and fill it full of an equal amount of water, because you don't want to put this by itself in the centrifuge unless you want a broken centrifuge and a horrible mess. So I just zero out the scale, and then I've got some water in a bottle over here. I'm going to add that until we zero out and have the same weight for both sides of the centrifuge. Yeah, definitely works pretty good to create an equal balance. And it's a lot harder to fill these exactly. Just one drop will put you over. But if you're under 1 gram, you're fine. So for 0.006, we're pretty safe here. So take both of the containers and put it in for a spin for about 5 minutes. And try not to put it on full speed, otherwise you can kill some of the critters in there. Usually the worms get torn apart. But what I'm going for are tardigrade, water bear, moss bear they're also called, but tardigrade is what I'm looking for. And they are cute little, they almost look like little piglet, little fat water bears. And I wasn't sure if I was going to find any in this, so I figured, well, I'll concentrate this by spinning it, and here we'll take out all the excess water. And you got to be careful doing this, because if you disturb the sediment at the bottom, which is pretty easy to do by getting the dropper too close or sucking the water up too quickly. And I'll shake it up a little bit just to kind of even things out, get a good distribution of what's in there. And then I use a pipette. I love saying the word pipette. That's just a way to get an exact amount of liquid. And this one ended up getting clogged. I had a little too much sediment in it, so I had to re-pull it and put just enough to get under the cover slide without having it too thick. And right off the bat, this is real time. First time I put it in, right there. I thought maybe at first it was a, what are they called? A rotifer. But after watching it for a few seconds, I realized I found exactly what I was aiming for. That is a little tiny tardigrade, water bear. And unfortunately, he didn't really turn much, so it's tough to see their eyes. And if you can zoom in on them, you'll see these two little black dots and there's two little tiny eyes. It's like a puppy. Unfortunately, my microscope doesn't have a way to move the staging area using knobs. I have to shift it around with my fingers, so there's a little jumpiness as I try to position the slide to be directly under. Hopefully I'll be able to upgrade to a microscope that has a better surface area to work from. And here I'm adjusting the lighting a little bit, seeing if I can get a better shot. But I had so much debris in the sample that it was difficult to see and get a clear shot of them crawling around. And I think I'm at 100 times magnification right now. And then I switched over, this is either 400 or 600 times. I don't recall which one I had it set at. And it was just too hard to get a clean shot of him. He was crawling around this one clump of food the entire time. And zoomed in this much, just touching the slide would make it disappear. It's really hard to narrow in the focus when you're 600 times zoom. There you can kind of see his eyes, or her eyes. There is a way to tell the female from the male, something with their claws. I don't recall exactly, but I think the males have 3 claws on the front paw versus the female has 2, or vice versa. I don't remember. But I came across 2 tardigrades in the sample, and then as I look around the slide here, I'll show you a couple of the other things I found. There's the other tardigrade, a little smaller one, but nonetheless 2 tardigrades, which, considering how long I've been looking for finding one of these, I was amazed so quickly to find these 2. So I'm going to definitely start pulling more lichen off of old fence posts and tree limbs and see if I can find any more. Now I started looking around here a little more. This here is a worm. It's also called a nematode. Nematodes are everywhere. And to quote Hank Green from another YouTube channel, there are around 57 billion of these per human on the earth. 57 billion for every human. That's how common these are. You find them everywhere in the soil, dirt. You probably find them in rain droplets. They are everywhere. Now this last one, I have no idea what this is. It almost looks like a brain. So I haven't done an image search, but I was able to zoom in on it. Whatever it is alive and kind of creepy looking. So, you know, if you're into microscopy, leave me a message as to if you know what this is or what you think it might be. But hopefully I'll pin the comment when I find out what this thing is. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you soon.